Oh, hey everybody, Chef Michael Barnes. So I wanted to break down the HandiFacts Culinary Reference Card Toolkit for you. All right, now this is a really simple toolkit, but it comes down to culinary math. And if there are principles on these cards that you don't understand, but this is how you get better in your kitchen. You start taking care of your family and your friends. This is what's known as the Begin card. Now, these are laminated cards. I don't know if you can, oh, there you go. They're laminated. I used to teach food safety for the National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation, and you can't bring paper into a kitchen because your dirty old chicken fingers are gonna make everything gross. So I laminated, well, I didn't laminate them, my publisher did. My publisher laminated these for me so that I could give them to you in a way that you can sanitize them, clean them up. All right, this is the Begin card. This is the basics. This is where you begin. These are your beginner's toolkit. This is a kitchen abbreviation chart. This is Fahrenheit to Celsius. This is kitchen formulas so that you understand how to convert your recipes. Classical French knife cuts with a cross-reference surface so that you can practice your knife cuts. This right here, this is a standard volume conversion sheet. This goes from 1 ounce all the way to 1 gallon and all the equivalents in between. And then you have a recipe breakdown card. Now, when you're learning how to cook and you start to get into this, see, just doing your spices alone are going to rob you of all kinds of money. So when you understand how much recipes cost, then you know how to plan for it. You know how to go about it. This one has got a protein doneness chart on the back. So if you're not really sure exactly how far along the cooking process is, you got to learn how to touch it. And then you get into, all right, well, that's medium well. All right, moving on to the next one. Stocks. Got to make great soups and great sauces and great reductions. You got to learn how to make stocks. So the stocks card, like I said, foldable laminate, mise en place. Understand what mise en place is. This means everything in its place. So you get all your ingredients, you get all your tools, you get everything together, and then you start doing it. All right. So we're going to teach you how to make brown stock, white stock, fish stock. These are your base stocks. All right. On this card, it's got a tips and tricks. This is how you make it clear, and this is how you make it clean. All right, and then it has an additional liquid volume conversion chart because this is important. You got to understand 1 ounce all the way to a gallon and all the equivalents in between. Just make you smarter in the kitchen. And the stocks card, look at that. Fluid ounces to milliliters. Next, we have our baking card. I love the baking card because I'm terrible at baking math. That's one of those things I have a really hard time with because I'm a chef. I'm not a baker, but I still got to know these things, right? Look at this. This is a basic toolkit. This is what you need to get started. This is how you make a parchment paper piping bag and the steps associated with it. This is how you adjust for altitude. Because 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 feet past sea level, you got to adjust your recipes for altitude so that you're doing it correctly. They'll come out funny if you don't. This is your cooking sugar chart. This goes from thread all the way to caramel in Fahrenheit and Celsius. So you know exactly how to cook that sugar and how to make it properly. So if you're making a sauce, it's one way. If you're making hard cracked caramel, it's another. This is Baker's Math. This is the one that I get confused with, so I have to have it on my notes. This is how you go from 4 loaves to 40 loaves. Baker's Math. All right, this is one of my favorite ones. This is the equivalence card. This is when you're getting ready to go shopping for a recipe and you're like, man, how many cups of apples, or excuse me, how many pounds of apples do I need to buy to fulfill 3.5 cups? It's that kind of math because they don't sell stuff in cups. They sell stuff in pounds. So we've got fruit, veggies, meats and cheeses, a conversion chart on how to change things, wet ingredients, dry ingredients, and then almost. I love this one. I actually crept down onto a golf course to get this picture, and the guys are looking at me like, what is this guy doing? Yep, almost. See right here, 1 quart is almost 1 liter. It's just shy of it. So 1 quart is about 0.96 liters, but you're close enough. See, that's the thing. You got to know the difference between the two. This one, food safety, super important. And I'll tell you why, because 7,000 people die every year due to foodborne illness. So if you got somebody touching your food that doesn't know what they're doing, you could get in trouble. And I'm sure, I guarantee each one of you have had a problem with food in the past. No more, because this one breaks it down in a way that you can understand it. Good food can go bad in 3 different ways. You need to avoid 3 different types of contamination. You need to be able to calibrate your thermometer to make sure that it's in line with the right numbers. This is a safe cooking internal temperature card. This one right here tells you the safe. It doesn't tell you the best. I'm a Pittsburgh rare kind of guy, so I don't like my steak cooked or overcooked. And then when you get into the backside of this is the good signs and this is the bad signs of protein. When you got good, it has certain things. When you have bad, there are certain things. So when you're buying a chicken and the tips, the little wing tips are black, yeah, put that one down. He's bad. He's ready to go to the grave. That one, you don't even want to touch that. That's bad news. And you've got the food danger zone. This section right here. Everything, cold foods need to stay in this section. Hot foods need to stay in this section. Everything from 140 to 40, that's bad news, especially on a buffet. You better get that corrected. This is the cooking methods card. This describes 17 different cooking methods. See, cooking is easy. It really comes down to the application of heat to an ingredient to try and get a finished product. So if you can understand those principles, then you can understand these principles. This is moist heat. This is dry heat. And that's why we have, for all you folks out here in Arizona, dry heat and moist heat. You see how that works out? Don't know what an amuse-bouche is? Yeah, I didn't know what it was before I went to culinary school. That's all right. We got the 151 bussin' kitchen words all here on a card, laid out with definitions. Of course, these are my definitions. So some of them are not exactly, I don't want to say politically correct, but they're funny. Because you got to have a little bit of humor in the kitchen. Let's all relax. Let's start cooking. Because at the end of the day, when you understand these terms and you understand the math and you understand your ingredients and you understand how much you're spending and then you understand all the little basics when it comes down to it, you're going to have a healthier menu. You're going to have a lot more fun with your friends and family, and you're going to be able to cook for your family, and you're going to save money doing it. And that's the best part of this. So get the HandiFacts Culinary Reference Card Toolkit. Time to get cooking.